Hi, my name is Alex Acevedo, and I will be directing and choreographing the upcoming production of Cats at Peninsula Youth Theater. Now, one of the aspects that really drew me to want to direct this show is the fact that the storyline itself is kind of broad and open-ended. So as we have all these characters interweaving through the show, we can really mold the show around the people who come out to audition for the show. Another reason why I'm very excited for this project is, as a dancer, you rarely get the opportunity to work on a show that calls for so much movement throughout the story. At the same time, it's also considered to be an opera. There is very little dialogue. Although the music is not classical music, it still has a continual flow of music that all helps to enhance the story. As an actor, it's also very exciting because oftentimes we're playing roles that are so close to home. For example, as a young child, young girls are often cast in Annie, playing young girls. Young boys in Oliver are playing young orphan boys. And this is a show where no matter what your age is, or no matter where you stand socially, you're playing somebody so crazy and so far outside of your comfort level to actually feel the silly energy of being on the floor with your tail rolling around, but fully invested in this animalistic energy is just something that is rare in theater, but really exciting for the actor. Now, Cats is one of the most memorable shows in Broadway history. It's extremely recognizable, and people who love Cats love to see Cats the way that it is. There are some things that I would like to do slightly different with this production. Primarily the choreography for myself will be heavier, less feminine, a little bit more masculine. If you think about a larger cat movement, the way that a tiger moves or a lion moves, that is a little bit more accurate to what I'd like to do. When the show first opened in the 80s, the style of movement was this very 1980s jazz ballet. I would like to use a little bit more of today's movement, something more modern and contemporary in its style. There's also plenty of opportunity for those of us who are not necessarily dancers but movers to be featured across the stage. There are lots of duets, lots of solos. There's a huge tap number in Act 1. There's just a lot of variety of movement, but it is also creative in the sense that it's geared towards making us low to the floor and move like cats with that same agility. Now, the set for Cats is very exciting and very traditional to the Broadway production. Essentially, it takes place in a giant junkyard. The stage itself is filled with platforms and ramps, trapdoors and tunnels, holes for smoke to come out of, lights, and just tons of spectacle and junk littered across the entire stage, all with a purpose. Many of these junk pieces that are on the set get picked up to be used as props and then placed back onto the junkyard. So it's very creative in that sense, and there's just a lot of fun to be had in a giant set of platforms with metal and garbage all over the place. Now, we've talked about the dance and the singing all being such a strong part of this show. However, there's another element that is just as important, being the costumes and the makeup, which are a huge undertaking, but they really bring out your characters, and there's really a lot of fun in getting into this full body and makeup costume. Traditionally, what you see on Broadway is dancers in full dance leotards. We are definitely going to go a slightly different direction with it. We'd like to add a lot more layers to everything to give us the textural differences as well as different shapes that the cats might have. We definitely want to keep a strong element of the lines and the fur and the shape, and there will most likely be lots of tights underneath garments as opposed to tights being the only garment. Now, this connects into our hair and makeup because what often happens is whatever pattern is working along the body comes up to the face makeup and up through the wigs as well. All of this is meant to essentially hide the human being from head down to your toe. The idea that you would see your skin is just not going to happen. So that's a very exciting part of our show where we come in and get what feels like this full prosthetic makeup process to happen. And all this costume and hair and makeup effect really just enhances your experience as the actor to get into these moments. I really encourage you all to come out and audition for this show and not to be held back by thinking, oh, I'm not a dancer, or I couldn't possibly do that, because the one thing that we do here at PYT above all is train. If you come in and you feel like you're less of a dancer, I guarantee you will leave feeling like more of a dancer. If you come in feeling like less of a singer, you will leave feeling more trained as a singer. But you should also know that there are lots of opportunities in the cast and in the script for people who don't necessarily move. Characters like Old Deuteronomy, Grisabella, Bustopher Jones, who are definitely considered leading characters for our show. They're older cats, and the story doesn't call for them to be as agile and to be involved in the heavy dance chorus numbers. Whether it's on stage or in the audience, I truly hope you can join us this fall for what will be a magical experience.